Back on ESPN3, the Watch ESPN app, as the men's semifinals is underway. This is game number 2, or match number 2, with Daniel Cordova and Sean Lenning. My name is Dave Vincent. We have David Fink here to my right in the broadcast booth. Daniel Cordova looking to win 2 straight tournaments. Sean Lenning looking to get back into the winner's circle, as Daniel just hit that camera of ours.
Daniel Cordova has defeated Lenning in both their encounters this season, both of those wins in 2 games. You remember he defeated Sean in Atlanta, the first stop of the season, in the semifinals in 2 games. Also defeated Sean in Portland in 2 games.
It's pretty good.
Daniel went on to win Portland, lost in the finals of Atlanta, and then he won Tucson, did not play Sean there.
Well, the players here are sorting out which ball they're going to play with. This is always a big topic with some players, and then not a topic at all with others. It's nice to see our webmaster who lives here in San Francisco make it down to the club to talk to us, Dave. I know he's a good friend of the company's.
Yeah, he does outstanding work for us.
He's also helped us develop a Alexa app, which I know you've read a little bit about. You can now catch our podcasts on the Alexa app, which is pretty cool, just by asking Alexa to open Handball Radio, but you have to enable that skill on your Alexa app. Alexa's now kind of done something that was pretty cool, and I thought immediately, as soon as I got the Alexa device, that why don't they have, you know, the ability to ask your phone as opposed to having the device in your office or at work? And they have now developed that, so it's much like Siri or OK Google. They are now talking to you via your phone, so that's kind of a neat thing. That was the announcement from the referee.
0 serve 0.
Daniel Cordova getting that first serve had Sean Lenning tricked a little bit to the left, but Sean was able to catch up to it.
Point. One 0. Point. I'll keep an eye.
Yeah, it looked like it was a
2
total
0.
screen serve. Our referee is Abraham Montijo.
Daniel
Point.
Cordova in control here.
Oh, yeah.
Dominating the first 3 rallies.
3-0.
He's got so much power. He's also got amazing footwork.
I really do not see Sean winning this.
Point.
Danny's footwork earlier today, even though he hit kind of a brick wall there at the end, just was unbelievable. I've never seen him so spry.
Right.
I think that's the difference between the two. And he's
Second.
also so confident. You know, that Danny's always had those, you know, the great ability, and we talked about it, you and I, on air for, you know, seems like years. It was really only maybe 2 years we talked about it, but now he's just confident.
5-0. Short.
5-0 really quickly here in game number 1. Best 2 out of 3 to 15, win by 2.
Second. Side out. 0-4. Point.
Sean Lenning gets onto the scoreboard here. It's cool to see the referees
1-4.
wearing their attire courtside. The fans really like that.
Gives you a lot of special access as a referee, too. You can stand wherever you want.
Yeah, right.
Point.
You can kind of say whatever you want to when somebody's in your way. You can
Replay.
kind of,
Right.
yeah, you're like a VIP around here, even though everyone's going to be making fun of you and questioning you within 15 minutes. I enjoy it the most when the #1 ranked player in the world's wearing it, because that usually signifies that you've lost. Usually loser's ref.
Replaying the last shot, we got 1 serves 5.
Scoreboard should read 1-5. That was an easy fix.
Point. 2-5. Short. Second.
Oh, that's beautiful. Right in front of
Point.
Daniel like that. Just snaps that corner kill. Daniel's waiting for it and still unable to get it.
3-5.
Oof,
Replay.
that's tough. I think Sean's upset with that because he felt
3-5.
like Daniel moved into that spot. Dave, you're a level
Second.
5 ref. You're probably the only one here in the club. I keep hearing people say this, especially the referees, and I find it, perhaps I'm wrong, but why am I hearing referees say
Side out.
to a player that just hit a ball to
5-3.
the front wall directly straight off the back wall, directly straight to the front wall, when
Point.
it hits their opponent who backed
Yield.
into the shot, they say, you had an open shot
Play
down
2
the right.
serves, 1 side short over
Why
here.
would a referee say that? I don't
Yeah,
want to take
yeah.
the ball down the right. I'm taking it down the middle because
7 aces,
he
2
is
serves.
standing
My
on the
guys
right.
disagreed by 1
He
line
moved
judge.
over to the left.
2 serves, 5-3.
I don't. Why would I want to hit it to the right when that's where he was standing when I went back to get the ball?
Point.
What's the interpretation of an avoidable hinder call like that? When the
6-3.
guy's standing on the right, you hit it down the middle, but they've moved in the middle of your
Ball.
swing. Then the referee says you had an opening down the right-hand
Second.
side.
Well, it sort of depends on the speed of the ball. Did the defensive player have time to cross you and
Side out.
still give you your shot? Was he making contact with you? Did he move into your shot? I mean,
3-6.
there's kind of a lot of variables, so I'm not really.
But what about when you hit a ball straight to the front wall? Shouldn't you always have access to the straight wall shot and not have a referee say,
4-6.
well, you had an open area
Yeah.
down here to the
I
right?
think so.
Although I never wanted to hit it to the right. Why would
Yeah.
I hit it there? Because when I turned my back to take it off the back wall, he was standing on the right. Why would I hit it to the right? I can't tell where he's gone. But see, they know you're going to hit it down a certain spot, so they take
Right
away
out.
your shot, but you don't get the avoidable called because the ref says that you should have hit it where they were originally standing. I heard it a couple times already in this tournament. I just don't
6-4.
understand the whole thought on that.
Point.
That's a laser of a serve.
7-4. Point.
Oh, another laser right there.
I saw it good.
That might get turned over.
Agreed.
Wow.
Timeout, Sean. Yeah.
Sean
1
Lenning
minute.
calling a timeout
Score
here.
is 8-4.
And a full one at that. Taking a look at this replay. This thing was hit so fast that Sean couldn't even do anything. Both line judges agreed with that as being a good serve. Daniel Cordova looking to make the finals against Killian Carroll with this 8-4 lead, but with Sean Lenning, he can score 10 points in a matter of 2 minutes, so you never know if something like that could happen. This is the Race for 8 Professional Handball Tour on ESPN3 and the Watch ESPN app. It's been a big, long, full day of handball here. I know they have a lot of festivities after this. We're going to start at 10 o'clock tomorrow with the men's Elite Pro 9th place final or the 5th place.
Okay,
we're going to have to take
resuming
a look at that. It's going to be one of the two.
8-4. Side out. Four, 8. Point. 5-8. Point. Heel. One agree, one disagree. Call stands. 6-8.
I like what the ref did right there. He saw that the player was arguing with him. He said, appeal it. Let's make this official. You don't
Side
need to
out.
argue with me. Just appeal it.
8-6.
And wouldn't you know it, tomorrow for 5th place?
Side out.
Never mind.
6-8.
Somebody reported the score wrong. It has Marco Chavez versus Vic Perez in the final. I go, wouldn't you know it? These guys are playing again for how many tournaments in a row, but
Side
that's
out.
not the case. It's going to be you playing Vic Perez tomorrow. That's going to be a fun match. How are you feeling, body-wise?
Feel good.
Yeah.
8-6.
Well, congratulations on winning 5th.
Short ball.
Because I know how, when you say you feel good, I've never seen you lose.
Second.
I keep track. Not sure what that was about, but not put in a bad spot either. Unbelievable.
Side out.
Sean's got such incredible power where he generates it from seemingly nowhere. Now he's here at 6-8. Looked like he was
6-8.
down for the count, and now he's back in it again. And it's just, then
Point.
stuff like that starts happening. Now 7-8.
Seven, 8. Short ball. Second.
So just to recap, Dave, men's 5th
out.
place is going to be Vic Perez versus you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Men's
8-7.
9th place final is Peter Function versus Abraham Montijo, who's our referee right now. That's going to take place at the same time as well.
Peter and Abraham both played 6 matches yesterday and then had the day off today.
Yeah, crazy.
Strange.
9-7.
Both had
getting
forfeits.
today.
Winning 17th place
Side out.
was interesting. As Max Lanemack got
7-9.
injured and had to go to the hospital after possibly what looks like it was a broken finger or a dislocated finger.
Oh.
And Leo Canales
out.
wins 17th. Max Lanemack started that match, but then that finger
Did
injury
he injured
happened.
in the final?
9 serves 7.
Injured in the final.
That's a shame.
I believe Lauren Collado took him to the hospital.
That's going to be an expensive
Side out.
visit out of network.
7-9.
Oh, mouse.
Side out.
And also Lauren charges. You know, he lives here in the Bay, so he knows that time is money and money is
Right.
time and all that. So
Yeah.
Lauren actually charged
For
Max.
the ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Well, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
How are these guys getting these balls back? Sean just tried to poke that one.
Point.
Of course, I made
10-7.
the announcement about Max breaking his finger or whatever it is.
Short ball.
before the next of kin was notified. That's kind of how I do it. I say, well, why wouldn't their family members want to hear about it, you know, live on the air? Broken ball? What's going on here? Hinder? These guys are really cranking this ball here, Dave. They hadn't broken many balls in this tournament, or at least in this bracket. Earlier in the qualifier, we had a lot of breaks, but then all of a sudden, this is maybe only the 4th or 5th ball to break. And then in this match alone, I think this is the 3rd ball they've gone to. Score here is 10-7 with Daniel Cordova in the lead.
All right. Score is 10-7. Point. $11-7. Second. Side out. 7-11. Replay. 7-11. Short ball. Second.
That hit every single wall you could possibly hit. Crowds at these tournaments are crazy. They find
8-11.
the stuff that they cheer at are just unreal. I mean, if you ask that player, he'd say that was a terrible shot, but the crowd loves it. Sean barely misses that to make it 9-11. Finds himself returning the serve here.
11 serves 8.
So much power, off balance. Sean Lenning back into the box, 8-11.
8 serves 11. Side out. $11-8. Short ball. Second. Point. 30-second timeout. Score is 12-8.
12-8 to score here. Really thought that Sean was making a comeback, and then Daniel got a couple side outs and a point. Now pushing it within 3 points of taking game number 1. Want to thank ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. Those with the broadcast: Chris Garrad, Linda Manning, Shay Lowenstein, Kara Mack,
10 seconds.
Dave Fink, Lolita DeVincent for making this all work here. Plus Joey Mucha, the manager of this handball event.
Score is 12-8.
And of course Lou Barberini. So much behind the scenes work that you wouldn't believe it. That ball hit
Replay.
Daniel on the way up.
$12-8. Short ball.
That was close.
Second.
Sean should put that away. Doesn't.
Point. $13-8.
These two talking to each other in here. I'd say it's friendly, but you just never know. Not these days. The ball looked like it was sliding out all
Slide
over
out.
the court.
Just a complete miss there from Danos.
8-13.
Well, that ball just hit every wall, had so much spin. I'm not sure. I don't think Danny knew what was going to happen, and certainly didn't know there. Now 9-13.
9-13. The short ball.
Players are having a little tough time seeing or hearing the referee, right? We hear him so clearly, so we don't hear it. But is it just that it's quiet in the court, or just muddled?
Yeah, muddled. It is hard to hear the ref.
That's just a laser shot right there off the back wall from
Point.
Sean Lenning. Now making it 10-13.
10-13. Short ball. Short. Short ball. Short ball. Short ball.
You see our referee with his hands over the microphone. I don't think that's helping.
Second. Point.
Sean just really lackadaisical in there, scoring points. And a timeout
Daniel,
here.
That's your first. Score is 11-13. 1 minute.
– 11-13 is the score here as Sean Lenning making a slight comeback here. Both players sort of acting like they're playing a pickup match, kind of. I mean, right? Does it seem sort of like practice? They're kind of jarring at each other, kind of smiling, walking back. Very lackadaisical play. I think both are just extremely tired from earlier games today. I think so.
I do.
But you're still seeing some amazing shots mixed in with it. So I'm not quite sure. I think sometimes when they get so evenly matched, something like this could happen.
All right, time is back in. Score is 11-13.
Sean doesn't think that Daniel got that, so he just popped it right to his face there. Sean didn't approach that as if he thought that Daniel got it, but he had to hit through it because Daniel didn't say anything, so he swings through it, ends up hitting Daniel with the ball, and gets another point, now 12-13. Both players taking a lot of time here in these last few shots, last few serves. Both either totally exhausted or a 12-13 game going to 15 is just
Score is 12-13.
boring. But it's really slowed down here. Crowd's also quiet. Maybe that plays a little bit into it.
Replay.
Sean gets hit by that ball, and they're going to play it over.
12-13.
This is a pretty nice comeback from Sean, though. That was short. Clearly before the line. Sean's going to definitely want to peel this. I can't imagine that they... Look at
I thought it was good.
No, look at this ball right before the short line. Yeah.
13-12.
Nice get there from Daniel. Daniel's lobbying for a contact, and he ends up winning the point. What's going to happen here? Referee has a slight smile on his face. He saw that too. Kind of surprised.
Contact. We have 13-12.
Nice get there from Sean. Big setup for Sean Lenning. Does he go for it? Doesn't. I don't understand. Ball broke. I think that's the reason why Sean put two fingers up. He was saying that was 2 shots ago that ball broke. It's really slowed down a lot here. Sean Lenning has
Daniel, can I see your gloves?
exhausted his gloves. This is going to be a 2-minute
do a glove
break,
change,
possibly.
You gotta change them. 13-12.
We could do that 3-minute break, but we just don't have enough time. It's not at this moment. I mean, this is really slowed down here, these last few points, but it's been exciting when they have played. But they are afforded a glove change, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Sean Lenning walking slowly to the second court, putting on his gloves. You're watching the Race for 8 men's professional handball tour as the semifinals are underway. The women's version of this is going to take place tomorrow morning when the women's final hits the air at 10:45 a.m.
That'll be 2 consecutive Casey Nee Curry finals on the women's tour. Both women's race events this year will have featured those 2 amazing stars in the final. And for Nee Curry, it's her 3rd final in her last 4 women's Race for 8 starts, going back to 2017.
It's a pretty good record to have. Of course, she wants to win one, but making the finals has to be right up there. There was moments when she played incredible today, and you reffed it, so you got to see firsthand how good these women players are. And Aisling Riley played really good in her match that you reffed. I mean, wasn't a letdown, I'll tell you that. There were moments when she missed her shots and hit a lot of balls on the ground, but then there was other moments when she did exactly what she was trying to do in there. So it's nice to see Aisling coming back.
Right.
Also, the aggression from Sienna was pretty impressive. Both left and right hand with power. I mean, gee. How impressed could one be watching those 2 play? And it's going to even be better tomorrow, I would assume.
All right, here we go. Scores 13-12. Replay.
Can't seem to get a completed rally here, Dave. Between the broken ball, the glove change.
13-12.
Now a replay.
I know, it's unreal. This might be a side out or something. Point. Finally, now we're here at game point.
Point.
That's
14-12.
overhit back wall shot. Sean gets handcuffed. This should be it here. And a swing, almost a swing and a miss, unforced error from Daniel. I just don't understand this. Sean now has a chance to get a couple points to force overtime.
12 serves 14.
Oh, are you kidding me? How does he do that stuff? Look at the crowd here.
13, 14.
Nobody even thinks about shots like that. 13 to 14.
Side
Daniel
out.
comes right back down that wall. Going for the game here is Daniel.
Fourteen, 13. First game.
And that's Daniel
minutes.
taking game number 1, 15 to 13, defeating Sean Lenning there in the process. A good game 1 victory for Daniel. He had to get that first one, I believe, against Sean in order to have a better chance of taking this match, and certainly he did so. Earlier today, we were able to check Emmett Peixote and the progress, I think, Dave, that you were part of, walking around the facility, checking out the Olympic Club. Kara Mack was part of this, also Shay Lowenstein. Let's go to that quick look at the Olympic Club right now.
I'm David Fink, alongside my good buddy and Olympian of the Year in 2015 and 13-time Olympic Club singles champion and race for 8, number 7, Emmett Peixote. Emmett, you're going to take us on a tour today of the Hall of Fame.
Sure. This is beautiful here. Yeah, so this is the Hall of Fame. And somewhere, I think over here, there's a cup with my name on it for Olympian of the Year, but it might be at the golf course, so we'll take a look. See, here's Player of the Year. It stops at 10, so I don't know where the other one is.
That's rugby, though.
I haven't seen it in a while.
2017, right?
2015.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you remember watching matches on the old Olympic Club courts where they had the stadium seating
Yeah,
in the wood?
I beat Norm Dunn was one of my first big wins, probably my first big win, because he was number 6 on the Pro Tour at the time, and I was 19, and I beat him in the on the show court where there was a gallery above, and they were old wooden courts. They were probably about 100 years old, or a little bit less, probably 80 years old, and beat him on the center court there, and I was pretty happy. It was a huge win for me. This is just the Hall of Fame.
Bob Brady, handball.
Yeah, there's a few handball players.
Did you know him?
I never met him because he died in the 70s. That's Mike Dunn, yeah. Mike Dunn's still alive.
That's the dad of the brothers?
Yep. And Joe Red Murray is his grandson plays.
So what has it meant for you to have been sponsored by the Olympic Club? I'd say for 20 years.
It's been wonderful. They've been really good to me. They used to pay my way to go to play in all these tournaments. They're the reason I was able to play in pro stops all over the place. They always paid my trips, so it's been huge. I mean, that's a big thing. They've done that since I was 15, and they're still doing it. And yeah, I wouldn't have been able to go to all the tournaments that I have.
Well, you have to be proud to carry on the tradition of some of the gentlemen that you mentioned, like Al Banuay and Mike Tracy, and some of these coaches that mentored other
It's the
players.
best. Being part of the history is the most important thing to me. The membership's great, and the sponsorship's great, but just being part of the history is the most important. I mean, there's a lot of these guys that played with Bob Brady, and Bob Brady he's the guy I'm trying to beat for Olympic Club championships. He has 18.
I've really enjoyed this tour, and I'm looking forward to seeing your name all over, but I think you might have to retire first, and that's not going to be for what, about 50 years?
At least 50,
Yeah.
55
I was thinking about 50, yeah.
on the tour.
Right.
Yeah, with you.
Obviously.
Well, that would mean that he would be 4 years older than you, Dave, or so.
5.
Or you would be 4 years older than him, I guess. Yeah, what did that feel like, walking around the facility and getting a chance to look at some of the history? That must have
loved
felt
it.
good, right?
That
It
was
felt
really cool.
Probably sort of like a Hall of Fame tour. in
Yeah,
a
the
way.
best part was really, for me, seeing how much it meant to Emmett.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and having grown up here and started off as a young guy here like David Sanchez, and now he is the top player at the club who's holding off the young guys coming up. Anytime your name is etched on a wooden plaque,
Yeah,
I think you're doing something pretty great.
or you might be kind of old because a wooden plaque. I mean, yes. But that's the history is great here, and I love the fact that they show that stuff off at this club. I expect it actually, but I mean, still, when Emmett was looking for his name on that trophy, and you say, well, that's rugby, and then it makes you say, oh, they have I forget, they have rowing, they have rugby, they have they have football and basketball and all the new things that they have with track and field, and they have a lot of sponsored athletes, very similar to the New York Athletic Club. Squash, racquetball, But just being part of that history, not only just the part of history of the sport of handball, but just the part of the history of the athletic club itself, the Olympic club, that's really the important part too. Because your name is right alongside some players from other sports, some athletes from other sports that are some of the all-time greats. Must have been a great tour.
Side out. 0-0. Side out.
Kind of had a feeling that the first game lacked the intensity of the first semifinal.
0-0.
But it was still 15-13.
Right. Still exciting.
Right.
Second.
Well, hard to match the intensity, I think, of that first semifinal. You've got Killian Carroll on the floor up to 7 times in every rally.
That's one of the all-time unbelievable
1-0.
matches.
Yeah, I mean, you have to circle that one and say, when have we ever seen a more exciting match on the tour? It's got to be in the top 5.
It's already in the, it's been
0-1.
nominated for Match of the Year already. And just the unbelievable gets. Are you kidding me? That whole match.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, Dave. Really, he's going to do it again? Just flip it to the back wall? I've seen guys go behind their back, but spin before they do it, and then loses out on the rally. I don't know if there is such a thing as an instant replay, but that spin
1-1.
around in a circle first before hitting the ball behind your back, because that's really the only way he could hit that.
That's a beautiful play there from Daniel, who has the awareness to let it hit the front wall a second time.
2-1.
I had a player at the club the other day ask if that was legal. They've only been playing for 60 years. So for a young 28-year-old or so to 29-year-old to...
Side out.
How old is Daniel?
25.
25.
One serves
For a
2.
young but obviously old-looking Daniel Cordova, in my opinion. To know it, that's good.
Point.
Not quite sure how a guy can do something like
serves
that,
2.
but he does. 2-2. Unbelievable, Dave.
Point.
Lenning's still looking for his first winning game against Daniel Cordova this season on the Race Freight Tour.
3 serves 2.
That's hard to believe. He used to have his number, and now...
Right. 0 for 5 so far in games played. This season, 0 for 2 in matches played. He did beat him in Fort Collins, Colorado, though, in a tiebreaker.
4-2.
Not on the race tour, though.
Side out. 2-4.
Well, that's where the similarities between Daniel and Luis Moreno kind of differ, because it was Sean was so confident against Luis Moreno.
Sean
wasn't he? I mean,
No.
he didn't lose against. Was it? He would lose all of his matches against Luis.
Right.
Oh, okay. You're right. I knew it was one way or the other. You're right. So he would lose. Sean would lose against Luis. Yeah, but
beat Alan Garner.
But
Alan
beat
Garner would beat Luis.
Yeah, like no problem beat Luis. That's,
Yeah,
that's the
it seemed like
strange thing. Like a 14-1 lifetime or 14-2 lifetime
Point.
against Louise. Could never quite understand it.
But probably a 2-14 lifetime against Sean. Was
Yeah,
Alan Garner.
right.
Yeah.
And that was the same sort of result that Sean had against Louise. So it was a kind of a
Point.
crazy thing. Let's see how good he
serving
was,
2.
Chris. Ball hits the deep court camera. Daniel went over and fixed it. Yeah, he did a pretty good job. Somewhat impressed. A little bit to the right, but it's still good.
Well, these guys are very aware of that camera, and they're happy to help fix it. I mean, they want their good shots recorded from different angles.
Again, replay.
I don't know about that. Yeah, I mean, yes, you're right. They want what you said, yes.
And I agree with you about not knowing about that call.
Yeah, I don't think that was the right call. Thought that the referee can get talked out of this, but I'm not quite certain.
It
now.
wasn't hit quite hard enough to make it a guarantee, but I would say that
6-2.
was going to be pretty tough.
Well, it had a wrinkle on it, like that. Just was hopping away. I'm not sure Daniel would have even got a hand on it. But these Cordovas are quick. I mean, they're getting stuff that nobody else should be getting.
Point.
Well,
30
now
seconds.
Lenning is kind of, for the first time,
Score is
I think,
7-2.
taking control of this match. Because even though he lost that first game 15-13, I sense that Daniel was kind of in control.
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah.
I mean, Daniel was always in the lead by at least 1, up to 5 at one point.
Yeah,
5
which
points.
is interesting because Sean just seems like anytime he exerts himself, he goes on a nice run, but then he'll make some hand errors and miss the shots, and then he goes on a nice run again, and he can do that at any time,
10
no
seconds.
matter whether Daniel was on a momentum run or not. It just all depends on how much energy Sean has. This timeout is actually going to benefit Sean, I think, more than Daniel.
Well, Sean's conserving his energy pretty well here.
He is really very playing
7, serving
a
2.
compact game. See, that's not a normal Sean Lenning serve.
You'd say if this was the Tour de
Point.
France, he's kind of coasting right now. He's kind of
Kind
with
of-
the team, drafting.
8-2.
Kind of
Ish.
seems sort of like when Paul Brady played Killian Carroll in New York. What, 2015, 16-ish?
Point.
Yeah. Well, that's a match that
Thought it was too
still,
far away.
I don't think you understand. That 2017 Paul Brady Killian Carroll match in New York that Paul
Score
won.
is
That you're saying that
There you go.
you're
Score
probably
is
saying
9,
that
serving
Killian
2.
allowed that to happen that
No,
way.
I know talking with you about it a number
Short
of
ball,
times. It
short
was a
ball.
strange match. It
No,
was
that's
just-
what I mean. I will never
Yeah.
get it, and I'm going
Right.
to keep referring to it because
Yeah.
it was not right. This
Second.
seems strange to me.
Yes,
This
I-
match, there's just something wrong with it. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what it is.
side
The
out.
players are playing sort of like they don't really want to play each other, but yet
2 serves
Well, I
9.
have the same.
the winner goes to the
Feeling.
final.
Yeah.
I think after watching Killian play that last round, it kind of, they're both like, I don't know if I want to go up against this guy tomorrow. I know that's a lazy excuse on my part, but
Well,
I'm trying to figure it out. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying it feels
Point.
sort of like that Paul Brady match
Oh,
where
okay.
he's
I
the
understand.
feeling of why is he winning? Why
Yeah.
is he in the lead? Because he really shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because he's clearly not serving
serving
hard. He's
9.
not hitting the ball hard, yet he's
Uh-huh.
still winning.
Yeah.
Against a guy who's playing good ball right now, so it doesn't make
Well, the
sense.
guy who's number 1 at the time, Killian
Right.
Carroll.
That's what I'm saying. This doesn't seem right. That ball hits Sean in
Point.
the face.
Check the ball.
That's frustrating when you go down and you think you're going to undercut that. It hits you right in the mouth. End up having a bloody lip.
Timeout. 1 minute. Score is 4 serving 9.
Watch this ball. It's going to hit Sean right in the face, right in his mouth, actually, I think. It's going to be right when the ball cuts here. No, that would happen so quick you couldn't see it. The ball does actually hit him in the face, but a little hard to catch that camera angle. This is the second semifinals for the men's this evening. Earlier today, it was Sienna defeating Ashleen Riley 15-11, 15-11. And before that, Katrina Casey in the women's semifinals over Fiona Tolley, who won 15-1, 15-3. Fiona really, I think is one of the matches where she's going to look back in her life, her handball career, and really learn from this one. I mean, she's going to be blazing when she comes out at the next tournament because she's now knows what it's like to be behind the big cameras and be in a pressure situation on a court she probably hadn't played on yet. And I mean, she's very talented, and she was not indicative when you saw the score. Almost unfair. It's where you just.
Well, she definitely raised the level of her game in the second game, although she only scored 3.
All right, time in.
You could
The
see that
score
she
is
was playing
4
at a much
serving
higher
9.
level in that second game, so that has to be encouraging for her.
Point. Deal. I called it good. Disagree? Didn't see? We're going to play 2 serves, no ace. We're going to play 2 serves, no ace. So I got overruled. I called it short. 1 disagreed. So we're going to play 2 serves.
You didn't
4
really get
serving
overruled.
9, 2 serves.
There was just somebody that disagreed with you. You're not overruled
Well,
by
the other
one
one
person.
didn't see it.
Right, but it
Yeah.
doesn't mean you're overruled. Just means that you have somebody that disagreed. But if you were skeptical, right,
Side out.
you just play it over?
Yeah, that's an appropriate call if you're not
9-4.
sure, and you have 1 to 1, really.
Short ball.
Right.
Second.
I think the right call. You have that option as a referee.
So I guess he's right. He was overruled in a way.
Side out.
Both returns of serve there came around the
4
revolving
serves
door.
9.
A little too hot to handle for the server.
Side out.
The odds are in your
9-4.
favor if you can return the serve front wall, side wall
ball.
deep. Because it's, even for these top players, hard to put those shots away with the ball moving around the walls and
Second.
clipping the back wall.
Nice shot there from Sean.
Point.
He's able to make some of the most difficult shots look easy, and then the easy ones
10-4.
sometimes he misses, but he also makes those look amazing too at times.
Side out. Four serves 10.
Just does not
Side
look like a good swing. I mean, that's kind of a modified
10-4.
overhand swing. Didn't need that there. That was a simple setup.
Short.
Sometimes the ball just
Second.
doesn't drop into your wheelhouse the way you want it to.
Point.
That one drops right in front of Daniel, bounced 3 times before he could touch
11-4.
it. And Daniel
Point.
now just totally out of sorts.
12-4. Point.
This is just a clinic now.
Yeah,
Great shot making.
Danny was bouncing around early today in
13-4.
that quarterfinal, and I had never seen him play like that.
Well, when he was up 15-1, 8-0, I thought, who could ever beat this? And I mean ever. And then all of a sudden,
It's like a
you
switch
saw
flip.
Marcos come back,
Side out.
almost win that second game. And since then, Daniel's been great, but not extraordinary like he was.
They both seem, Sean and Daniel both seem so melancholy in there.
4 serving 13. Short.
You know, my famous thing of saying that, they're throwing this
Second.
last couple points so they can just prepare for the tiebreaker. This actually does feel like the whole match has been thrown. It's like, not saying any funny business. I'm just saying that it just feels like it's
5-13.
been in that mode since the very beginning. Just really no intensity, but yet still some amazing shots too, which it makes it more difficult to explain. Another timeout there from Sean.
Time
Well,
out,
sometimes when you're
Sean.
so
That's
relaxed,
your
then you can
second
really
timeout.
produce some
The score
amazing
is
shots. And it seems like
6-13.
Yeah.
these guys are so relaxed right now. I know, Dave, I see you play down in league when you're just, having a good time and you're making some amazing shots. Maybe that's kind of how they're playing right now.
Kind of wonder how you can take that, have amazing time into a handball tournament and make it translate into a win. You get so focused. It's you guys always talk about you try to emulate what you do in practice, but how do you emulate going into a tournament and playing so aggressive and having so much focus when you can never do that in practice? I mean, you never get to that point.
Right.
You almost have to play a game inside of a game to try to fool yourself.
Well, I know the Cordovas like to bet each other when they play each other in practice, even $5. That'll get you going.
Mm-hmm. Happens to be illegal, but,
Good tournament for our referee,
Back
Abraham
in.
Montijo,
Score
who's
is
still
6,
alive.
13.
just like that little
Side out.
timeout, Sean makes an amazing over-the-top kill shot.
13-6.
Yeah, Abraham Montijo playing Peter Function tomorrow for 9th place.
That should be a good one. Hope that one's on the broadcast.
Well, it's kind of up in the air. It's either going to be you versus Vic for 5th, or
Well, if I had a vote, which I don't, I would think the crowd would like to see Abraham.
14-6.
He's got a huge following
well, that's
worldwide.
what it's going to be then.
Hmm?
That's what it'll be then.
Okay. Sold.
Broken ball. As soon as I said we hadn't had any in this,
No, we did have one.
I know, but we hadn't had a lot in this tournament. But then all of a sudden in this match, these are the 2 hardest hitters, and
I see.
I would say maybe that's the threshold. You get up to the Sean Lenning and Danny Cordova power, and all of a sudden you're breaking balls. If you're everybody in the world but them, this ball's perfect for you.
Okay.
Sean loves this. Brand new ball at 14. Forcing
here
a
we go.
tiebreaker. Are you kidding me?
14-6. Side out.
Now we saw Killian Carroll come back from 13 to 1. Can Danos do it here, down 6 to 14?
6-14.
That's a hard no that you just gave me.
No, but if Shea asked, I'd have to say yes, he could.
Okay.
Because anytime I say something that's not going to happen, when Shea's there, it always
Side
does
out.
happen. So,
Not sure I'm following, but I
14-6.
think
well, it just happens to be, if he would ask that question, I'd have to say yes, it could happen. Because if I said no, it would actually happen.
a lot of
Again,
reverse
he's like the-
psychology happening here.
Yeah, he's
right
like
now.
the announcer's curse, a walking announcer's curse
Oh,
for me. He
okay.
just,
14-6.
amazing. There it is. Sean Lenning forces
Game
a
2.
tiebreaker.
4 minutes.
And a 4-minute break. You see that the audience members are just, they're as exhausted, I think, from that first semifinal and the first 2 games here as we are. Another game coming up, game 3, in fact.
Have to go and look at the record books to see the last time both semifinals went to a tiebreaker.
Sure, it's been a while. I mean,
Well, we know Daniel beat Sean in 2 semifinals this year in 2 games, so that eliminates those 2 tournaments. Did not happen in Montana because Killian beat Daniel.
I
in
think
2.
we'd have to go back to like early last year. I
Okay.
just don't see it. as
So I
anything
don't think
that's
this happened
recently.
this. Although it did happen in New Orleans, in a race freight light stop.
Okay. Well then,
In a race freight full stop, though, it has not happened yet this season.
in a light stop, it's happened in
Yeah.
February, and here's Max Lane Mac with his finger. You can see Max.
I saw that hoof trying to clap for the end of that second game. Hard to do.
We have to find out from Max what exactly happened there. You're watching the Race for 8 Professional Handball Tour in San Francisco at the Olympic Club here on ESPN3. We want to thank ESPN for affording us the little extra time as we are overtime right now. Somebody's making time and a half money. And we do appreciate them allowing us to go over our 6 p.m. time. Let's go to Kara Mack. Dave, she's courtside right now, Kara.
Here courtside with the referee of the evening, Abraham Montillo, seeing this one go to a tiebreaker, the second semifinal in the tiebreaker here tonight between Daniel and Sean. What makes this one so close?
Well, right now Sean's making his shots. It's not like he's the most intense player at the moment, but he's making his shots. And then Daniel's always a fighter, just like his brother. So that's part of the reason why they always play so tight. Is one's a fighter and one's a shot maker, and then when both are on, it makes for a good match.
They both play each other, I think, quite often. I don't know if anymore, but I know they have a lot of experience playing each other. How is that as a player, playing someone so often, knowing their game so well?
Well, you start to recognize what shots are going to be hit in certain situations, so it makes for extended rallies and volleys. And, yeah, you're right. Like, we just kind of keep on playing the same people over and over throughout the season. So you learn their shots. If you're paying attention, you're going to learn. So as the season goes on, you kind of, as a player learns your shots, you start to kind of develop new ones. So sometime in the beginning of the season, you might get a different style, 4 tournaments later versus the first tournament of the season.
What do you really love and respect about each of their games?
There's a lot to admire from both players. Daniel's a fighter. I love his style. He hits the ball a ton. He's got a lot of handball skill. And Sean, he's the freak for a reason. He makes the most unorthodox shots in the game. He could score 14, 15 points in like 5 minutes. So, both of those guys, when they're on, they're very exciting and just a lot to admire.
Is there anything hard about reffing a game like this?
Just the fact that they're fast and they hit the ball hard, and when they're both on, it's hard sometimes, but you just gotta let them take their shots. At this level, most of the time they know where the ball's going, they know where to anticipate. So you try to stay out of it as much as possible and only intervene when you think it really does affect the shot. Otherwise, you want to stay out of it. That's what I think.
Has there been any game changes in this one that you think have made a big difference?
I don't think so. Maybe they'll have something to say at the end of the match, but you do the best you can, and so far no one's came out of the court to yell at me, so we're doing all right.
You do a very good job. Even as I was about to interview, everyone was like, he does a great job refereeing, so nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll enjoy the tiebreaker. All right, you guys.
Dave, very difficult refereeing. It's stressful. And it's not like sitting back here where, we're relaxed, we're in these loungers. When you're in that hot seat, Dave, it requires so much concentration. You've got a microphone, you've got your clipboard, your pencil, you're looking for the shorts, the hinders, the court hinders. There's just so much going on, and you can't relax for 1 second. And believe me, if you do pick 1 second out of an hour and a half, that'll be the second where you were most needed.
Exactly, yeah.
And so, you're just kind of and you don't have any release. I think when you're playing the game, you're running, you're hitting. There's a way to get rid of that tension. But when you're reffing, you just feel tense. Like, I don't want to screw this up. I don't want to be a part of this match in any way. I don't want to call the wrong score, because that's also challenging.
Yeah.
You think it might be one thing. You look down at the card, but then you don't want to affect the cadence of the server. So I give these guys a lot of credit, standing in there and doing this. It's very hard.
And then you have an interview, and you have to start thinking to yourself, I can't be, I have to be objective here.
Yeah.
15, win by 2.
Or subjective, or, make sure that you're not rooting for anybody with your verbiage. When they start asking you questions, you don't want to make it sound like you're actually rooting for a player. But
well, it's probably nice for Abraham to get to just talk to somebody during the break, because it's kind of like he's able to reset his mind.
All right, here we go. 0, play 0.
Lenning has the first serve. He scored more points combined.
And he almost hit himself with that serve.
Well, I don't know if that should have been called a screen, because
serves.
Daniel had the open lane there. I think that's a good shot for him. You'd rather return that first serve than that one that just went down the left.
Side out.
Well, the winner of this one is going to go into the finals to face Keely and
0,
Carroll,
0.
who definitely is going to feel a little stiff tomorrow morning.
I don't know.
Point.
I think so. You cannot dive all over like he did. You just cannot.
1-0.
If he does, if he is painless, he admitted that he hadn't worked out much. You just can't do that.
Oh, my gosh.
Side out.
I thought Sean was going to call, or at least look for a short call on that serve. He kind of paused a little bit.
0, 1.
I know it's early, but that could be a turning point right there. The way these guys play, Dave.
Again.
Oh, no.
No, sorry. No. Point.
Oh,
Point.
I think that's the right call.
I don't know. I think it's the right call either
too
way,
early.
if
Point.
that makes sense.
One serves one.
It doesn't, but
Okay.
Danny banked himself behind Sean in the wrong way. Sean just flipped it back there. That could be called a screen. Daniel's shaking his head now. Maybe we spoke too soon about this ref. There's another crossover.
Well, this is a challenging rally to referee, clearly. These
Side
guys
out.
were crossing each other. There was contact. It wasn't very high quality shot making either during that rally.
Yeah, that makes it more tough too because your opponent's actually anticipating a little bit, and so you start overhitting balls. You're off balance. You're
1-1.
running into each other. I do like the fact that they're more assertive here.
Point.
Still sloppy, but it's, you know,
2-1.
some life. 2-1.
That's a nice get from Danos. And what is Danos
out.
doing with these front court shots? I mean, just kind of driving
1-2.
them right off the middle of the front wall, coming off the back wall. And these are
Short
setups. These are shots he was rolling out 1 inch high against Marcos in the first game and a
Second.
half. Doesn't even seem like he's going for kills right now. His points are coming on aces and just winning these obscenely long rallies.
2-2.
Pretty good return, but Sean's just going to nail a
Point.
flat kill with it.
Well, that's a big advantage when you go down on one knee because then your swing is
3-2.
parallel to the floor. You'll see a lot of guys just kill that ball just about every time when they go down to one knee. And you can't do it every time, and the situation sort of dictates it. But you saw Nadia
Second.
Alvarado kind of make that move famous.
Replay.
That's why he wore that knee pad, so he could slide on it.
And that's why you see Sean has brought out the knee pads
3-2.
because that's become his new thing. I know, Dave, you do it a lot as well. You're sliding on that one knee and trying to gain your balance, but also you see a lot of success from the top players.
Yeah, I have never thought about sliding on one knee. It just
happens.
Yeah.
You saw Ashleen Riley today when you were reffing, you were going down to one knee off balls off the back
4-2.
wall. Pretty successful when she was making her nice run there. Inside out serve from Sean Lenning, another point.
Well, he had Daniel fooled, but kind of gave it away by clipping the side wall, but Daniel makes an error.
Yeah.
That's the kind of ball that if it doesn't touch the side wall, it's an
5-2.
ace. But when it does touch it, not that hard to return. But just like he did in game one,
Second.
Lenning just seems to be pulling away.
There's down to the one knee, flips it back, gets out of the way.
See Daniel not shooting the ball.
See, Daniel is in a position there. Sean bails him out. Daniel upset with himself. He could have flipped that ball down the wall, ends up checking up.
2-5.
Sean's creative here. So
That's
good.
easily
Side
the
out.
best pass shot we've seen in this
Yeah.
tournament. And it's harder to win a
5-2.
point with a pass shot than a kill.
Sean was deep when he hit that. That's hard to do it from that far back. That's
That's-
also a
Point.
very difficult
it's
shot.
Beautiful. But Dave, do you consider it to be a difficult shot when the
Timeout,
ball
Daniel,
just sort
that's
of
your first.
kisses the
Score
front
is
wall? It just
6-2.
touches it,
1
and then
minute.
it's coming down so slow. Now your opponent has time to move in front of you.
I do find that hard.
And you have to generate all your own pace. And it's not a gimme shot.
No, I agree with you on that. I want to touch on that here in a second.
Okay.
But first, let's touch on this. Kara Mack, courtside, with Vic.
Daniel Cordova and Sean Lenning, always a match that you can never predict.
It is, yeah. They go back and forth. It just kind of depends who has their serve going and who can carry that momentum and do. They can serve and shoot, so it just kind of depends on who's hot and who's not.
Did I even introduce that I have Vic Perez with me, guys?
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
It's all right, yeah.
But you're taking on this one, a huge gallery that's happening here in San Francisco here on the Saturday evening for a tiebreaker once again, and it's really the fight for the finals.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, it looks like Sean is have the momentum right now. He's anticipating his shots. He was able to hit a few good pass shots over there to the left, and yeah, he's giving Donos a run for his money. I think he wants a rematch from last time.
When you see Sean in the groove, you know that he's in it. What can you do to break him from it?
There's not much you can do. I mean, you can just maybe keep him in the back and hope that he misses, or just go in there and then just go for the kill shots. Because I saw a few shots where Daniels had the opportunity for the kill, but he went for the pass, and Sean Lenning just went for the shot even from deep court and made it.
He can do that. We'll see what happens here. Thank you.
All right, no problem.
Yeah, back to you guys.
Thank you,
Time's
Kara.
back in.
But
6-2.
To those balls that barely make it to the front wall,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have a lot of time to think about it.
And no pace to work with.
Yeah, it's what happens is you pros have so
out.
many choices, and sometimes you just start going through your head like,
2-6.
which one am I going to do here?
Well, it's almost kind of like the EFIS pitch in baseball, right? When they used to do that
Just too
back
much
in
time
the
to
old
think.
days, just kind of float one in there and,
Yeah,
you know.
too much
Side
time
out.
to think, and
Yeah.
this sport isn't about thinking. It's more like just reacting naturally.
6-2.
But I also think the power coming at you allows you to hit the ball harder.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, Daniel has 0 kills here in this third game. And, of course, as I say that, he gets
Side
his
out.
first one. But this is a long time to go before getting your first kill shot. But he's not
2-6.
out of this match by any means.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, after seeing what
Short
Killian
ball.
did today, nobody's out of a match.
Well, Killian is kind of in his own
Second.
spectrum when it comes to comebacks.
Sean Lenning, don't forget, in that round of 16, had a huge comeback
That's
against JWC,
Down 12-3 in that first game and wins it in overtime.
and then wins game number 2, 15-0, 15-1,
Right.
one of those scores.
Yeah. So he outscored John Wayne 30-3
Yeah, I
to
mean,
close out that match.
6-2.
And how does Daniel not put that away? Or that? That's a great get.
Daniel's more in get artist mode right now. Sean Lenning, if he weren't making these mistakes, would easily be leading 10-2 right now.
Yeah, I agree.
2-6. Short ball.
That's-
Short ball.
that's
Short
tough.
ball.
Well, the ball was short,
Yes.
first of all. It should
Feels
come
it.
to
They
no
called it short.
surprise to these
They both
guys that
agree.
that was short. I mean, they shouldn't be surprised when they hear that short call, right? I mean, both, yeah,
Oh,
that's like
that was
6
short.
inches
I
short.
said it pretty loud, but I'll say it louder, yeah.
But, you know, as a player, you have no choice but to play it out
Yeah,
if you
have
don't
to
hear
do
the
it.
ref.
Yeah.
You know, when someone stands right in the middle of the court, when they hit the front wall and it comes middle off the back wall, even though you're standing on top of them, you still have to swing, right? You can't just hope the ref gives you a call.
Yeah, sometimes the ref thinks it's so obvious that they don't make the call, which then is like, well, you told me that I had to, so you have to swing through it. Can't blame the player. I'm just saying they both know the ball was short. I mean, they had to have both seen
Right.
that, right?
Right,
Unless
now you got a
you're not
second
watching
serve
the
coming.
same thing we're watching.
2-6. Second serve. Contact. Contact, Daniel.
You're definitely seeing a different intensity here, I think, from both guys.
But the game's still very slow.
Right.
Contact. 2-6.
And I think maybe it's because they're pretty evenly matched up right here.
Not a good serve here.
Jeez, are you kidding me? That's a flat mouse.
You know, there's something about these wooden walls that we've seen a lot more flat rollouts than we've ever
6-2.
seen
Yeah.
at any tournament.
Yeah, because the panels run horizontally, and I think the balls, they might be targeting down just a little bit.
Well, I don't want to make it about me, but I hit more flat rollouts in this tournament than I've ever hit.
7-2.
I'd say combined in 2 years. So, and I've seen a lot more flat rollouts.
Yeah, in this last 2 matches.
Yeah.
This is a weird rally here.
Well, that's such a hard shot. And
Point.
I believe if you're watching at home, you have to go with what I would call a modified Irish whip or kind of a softball underarm swing, however you want to call it, when that ball hits the ceiling and comes off the back wall, because it's coming down at such a steep angle that if you try and sidearm swing that, you're going to hit it in the ground most of the time. So watch what Sean does here. That's kind of his normal swing, but he comes from high to low.
Like kind of a 3/4 sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think that's the high percentage play there, because you're not going to put the ball on the ground with that swing. You're either going to hit it a foot high or an inch high.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you aim for a foot high, and if you get lucky, it's an inch high. Now, I can't say how high Sean was aiming there, but
Because for him, he kind of does that swing anyway. But I agree with you. You kind of have to change your angle.
yeah, I think you have to match
Score is
the angle of the
8,
ball
serving
with your
2.
swing.
Short.
Dano's really being outplayed, and it's obviously evident on the scoreboard. He loses game 2, 15-6. Now he's down 8-2. So that's 23-8. He's being outscored. That's just about 3-1. Oh my gosh, it's another flat rollout.
The crowd loved it. I don't know if we can replay that, but it would be nice.
9, serving 2.
Let's watch this here.
Short ball.
Luckily, we get a short and get to see this.
Second.
Another flat
I
rollout.
don't know. He just seems to do that anyway. You
My.
say the guy's
Point.
lucky, but then you play him and you find out that's
10-2.
just how it always happens. He makes those shots.
Replay.
You see Daniel still with just 1 kill shot.
Danny's upset that Sean's in his way.
Well, I don't
10-2.
think so.
Not
Sean,
on that.
no.
I say earlier maybe one, but not that one.
Not there.
Second.
Sean's just busting that serve now, that second serve. Daniel just kind of hitting wild right now. Getting those balls in the front court and just... Look at that pass. Oh my gosh, what a get. And Sean hits a party ball there after that amazing get from Daniel. And I'll tell you, Dave, Sean Lenning is Dano saying Dano. He's putting a lot of hop on the ball during the rallies. This is what Daniel does to people, handcuffs them, forces you to make errors or give them
11-2.
setups. And that's what Sean's doing. He's really putting the pressure on with power hops during the rally.
That was an amazing
If he's
get.
not killing the ball is got so much hop on it
Point.
that you can't do anything.
These guys are exhausted right here. Sean can barely stand up at the moment.
But isn't he the most dangerous kind of in this
Yeah.
scenario?
Look at this.
Yeah.
You guys are just rolling on the floor here. Both of them are having trouble standing up.
Well, I've seen this go both ways for Sean. When he's got both hands on the side wall, he's, gone on to make more amazing shots, or he's lost big leads when you've seen him in this position. Lenning outscoring Danos 27-8 in these last 35 points.
12, serving 2.
Look at that serve. That's a double bounce back wall. Nothing you can do about it. Serve 13-2 here. Tiebreaker going to 15. And Sean Lenning's just now 2 points away from being in the finals.
Yeah, and this would be stunning if Danos came back from this, particularly based on how these
13-2.
last 2 games have gone.
I just can't see that happening. But Danny's trying.
Played out.
Sean with 2 huge setups there. The first one he doesn't put away. The second one he
2, 13.
completely misses.
Short ball.
I don't think there's
Short
any
ball.
pro on the tour, Dave,
Deal.
that would ever count
Both
himself
agree.
out of a game, no matter what the score.
Second. Point.
2 straight left-hand airs from Lenning.
3, 13. Replay.
That's kind of a corner kill off of Danos' hip to the left.
3, 13.
Danos
Side
is
out.
frustrated because he knows that one was coming off the back wall. He tried to play it out of the air, just reacting to it.
13, 3. Short.
Heel peel this.
Peel.
It was short.
They both agree.
Both agree.
Second.
This will be a second serve. Oh, thought he missed that. Between the legs was Cordova.
That was a great return just to get it back, because that's the first time I've seen Sean go to the right on a second serve from that spot on the court.
Oh, another flat mouse.
Yeah.
There's more flat mouses on this court.
14-3.
It's unbelievable. Even after we set it, usually you never see it for 10 years. And there it is.
Game
Sean
match.
Lenning does it, takes down Daniel Cordova, and is now in the men's final after defeating him. Unbelievable play. I mean, I really don't even know what to say about it. As Kara and Shay meander into the court with our champion here. Kara?
This morning, I feel your mood is so much different. You came in here saying that your game was garbage, but you kind of just ate your own words.
Yeah, I was kind of forced to play more deliberate and thoughtful due to being so tired. And my timing and my shots were really nice today. Towards the end, I was just kind of stroking it. And that felt good.
Especially, I'm assuming, when you're so exhausted by this point. You know, you have a hard match this morning where you're just killing the ball, and then to come out and play somewhat of a different game tonight.
That was a way different game. Yeah, I proved to myself I can just kind of calm down. I don't have to be all, angry to play well. I was very relaxed. Yeah.
How much is that, though? Is it that Daniel was your opponent for that mood? Is there any of that? Because I know you two are close sometimes off the court, but, I mean, an opponent is an opponent as well.
Oh, opponent should just be an opponent, but, I'm not a competitor by nature, so it does kind of factor in more than it should. But I was kind of enjoying playing it. I was impressing myself constantly. I was hitting some cool shots that I didn't know I had still, so yeah. I mean, it's fun playing Daniel. He's such a nice guy and fair.
So to go from garbage to impressing yourself, you had a good day.
I did. I'll go. Sometimes you should give yourself some credit. I'll give myself some credit there.
As you should, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations. Back to you guys.
Yep, Kara, there he was, Sean Lenning. It didn't look like it early. It looked like this was definitely going to be one of the Cordovas in the finals. We didn't know which one, or maybe even both. But after the end of the day, it was Cordova's having to stay home. Sean Lenning making it to the final again to face Killian Carroll. Killian also had a pretty exhausting match there at the end. He's probably going to have more legs than Sean does tomorrow. Sean, on the other hand, is, like he said, he deliberately more methodical here, and it seemed to work out for him. And maybe perhaps tomorrow he can deliberately do the same thing. I don't know if you can against Killian, but perhaps that could happen.
Well, he seemed to find the right balance between being relaxed and being intense in that third game, somewhat during the second game as well, but definitely during that third game. I mean, you saw him, like he said, stroking the ball. A lot of flat rollouts, and in fact, when we mentioned the flat rollouts, we saw even more.
Which is the first time that's ever happened. That's also a first.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes fun facts, but it should.
I should find a way to weave it in there because it belongs there. But that was, impressive day for Sean Lenning, who wins all the games he won today. He held his opponent 6 points or less. So 4 of the 5 games he played against top 6 players, his opponent scored 6 or less points. That's pretty amazing. I mean, throw away that one game he lost.
Right.
Yeah.
That part's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing that he keeps saying that he's out of shape and he shouldn't be here, and yet he has that record as well. That might be.
But don't you think that kind of takes some pressure off him?
Yeah, maybe. I think that's what he's playing tricks in this tournament. This is a trick tournament for him. He's trying to convince himself that he's mad at you. Mm-hmm. He's trying to convince himself that he is out of shape. These are like he's trying to play the mental game to, I just think that it's a tactic that he's not really always used. At least it hasn't been extroverted about it. He might have always used it, but it might have been introverted. Mm-hmm. Here he's being open about it now. And sometimes you have to find a way to dig deep. It's late in the year in this tour season, and it's hard to get motivated for wins. And to this tournament so far, Sean has pulled out some trickery.
Well, I thought we saw some great handball tonight.
Yeah.
The first match was so different than the second, but both were so much fun to watch. You almost felt like you were on the edge of your seat in that first match. Like,
I've
the
never
blood
seen anything
pressure
like that.
was through the roof because of these amazing rallies. And then the second match was just, sort of a shot maker's paradise. If you want to come out here and watch the coolest shots you've ever seen, almost trick shot-ish.
Yeah.
And there was intensity, there was lackadaisical play, what it seemed, at least from our vantage point.
But it sounds like we're being negative when I say that. It was lackadaisical. But Sean admitted, I went in there and had a little more of a lax approach to how I was going to play. And
well, I think, our referee noticed it too. You heard him interviewed between the second and third game, and he said, the intensity is not quite the same.
But that was intentional. Now we know. Sean said he intentionally tried to bring it down a notch and just make shots. And really, it's what I said earlier. Sean needs to go up there, serve, shoot, and try to compact the game so he doesn't have to exert himself. But he did it the other way, where I'm not really going to have a care in the world, and I'm just going to go out here and just crank balls when they're there, and I'm not going to really try to overdo myself. And it seemed like he stayed within the game that way. Maybe perhaps that might be the new Sean Lenning.
Well, we saw 2 Sean Lennings today. So which one are we going to see tomorrow?
Well, I don't know. Maybe the methodical, sort of lackadaisical Sean Lenning, or the guy that might not have any legs tomorrow either.
I don't know. I think it's hard to predict legs. You get a good night's sleep, and, you're feeling pretty good the next day.
Well, he's feeling really good right now. He's passing out, I guess, power bar stuff. I don't know what he's doing. But anyway, Sean Lenning's in a really good mood here. We're going to call it quits. We want to thank ESPN for allowing us to stay on a little extra here. We had a great day of handball at the Olympic Club in San Francisco. Linda Manning, Kara Mack, Shay Lowenstein, Lolita DeVincent, Chris Garrad, Dave Fink, help from Emmett Pichot, Marco Chavez. My name is Dave Vincent. Thanks for tuning in to another production from the World Players of Handball and the Race for 8 Professional Handball Tour of 2018-19 season. I want to thank you for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow morning Pacific time, 10 o'clock a.m., where we
I
have...
want to thank you, Dave.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
For a great day of announcing. You set a record that can only be tied announcing every single match today.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that.
10-7 without a break.
Let's never do that again. Thanks for tuning in to the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN. We'll talk to you tomorrow.